Welcome back to the Haunted Haven and welcome to the post-burn review of our 6 Kringle Candle Fall Reserve line candles. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Get your little cozy little tootsers and some cozy little slippers and get yourself a nice little fall pumpkin spice drink. Get yourself ready to relax and listen to some very calming, lovely scented candle notes and get yourself in that nice fall mode. I'm really excited because the sunlight is starting to do this thing where it's coming between all the leaves and it's making this dappled light, and it's that golden autumn light. Pumpkin stuff at Whole Paycheck is supposed to come out today. All the pumpkin spice stuff is showing up in the stores. Things are really turning into the fall season. Let's get into the reason for the season, which is candles. Let's go over the 6 Kringle Candle Reserve candles. I've got some notes that I wrote down, so I'm going to be reading some of that and splicing in some videos here. So these are coming out tomorrow, September 5th, and the code for the Haven is Haunted Haven. That'll save you 15%. The first thing that I will say is that the collection as a whole, I think, is really nicely done. It's cohesive, it's put together, there's a little bit of everything in there. So I think this is a gorgeous fall release. I was really kind of taken aback by how really nicely everything worked together, and also everything has such a distinctly fall feeling to it as well. All of these candles gave me the feeling of fall. So I am happy with that. Very, very happy. I'm gonna start with Sunflower and Suede because I love it so much. It really surprised me. The first thing I will say is that I did not know that I needed a fall florals candle. And that's what this is. This is a fall florals candle. I certainly don't own anything like this. This is amazing. I really, really loved it. Let's see what I wrote down about this one. The other thing I'll say is that ideally I would have liked to have had more time with these candles. I was able to do at least 2 burns with each of them. Ideally I would have liked to have done more because I was still discovering things about them as I was going on and seeing how the deeper notes came out. I would have liked to have taken more notes on how they linger in the room after they're blown out. So there is so much more to go into with these candles. I just didn't have enough time. We had a week turnaround between receiving them and the launch date, and I was also away for the beginning of that, so it was a quick turnaround for me on this one. So let's go look at Sunflower Suede. Okay, so Sunflower Suede, the florals come out in a really beautiful way on the burn, and the rose comes out in a surprising way. It's just a gorgeous fall florals scent. So this is going to be a fall rose scent, which again it's a bizarre concept. It's not something that I really would have ever thought of myself, a fall rose. However, it does work really well for me. I have a very specific memory of fall and rose with there's a Renaissance fair in Pennsylvania, and every year I associate rose with that because they have a rose, like a wax rose station, and they put this really strong rose essential oil on it. So I do have this association of going somewhere in the fall and having a rose association. This rose is not going to be the straight up like Yankee Candle roses of Cliff Walker, or you know, the Yankee Candle rose is like a really strong rose. That's not going to be this at all. This is a darker, deeper, mixed with other florals, and of course that suede note, so there's this leather to it. It's really beautiful and dark. As the burn continues, I'm getting a mixture of the rose, the fall florals, and the suede, and I am absolutely loving this candle. It's just a beautiful, gorgeous fall floral, and I'm probably going to have to pick another one up. And the throw on this one is also quite strong. It was certainly filling up my bedroom, and I imagine that if I had the door open as well, it would have been traveling. So I think this is one of the strongest throwers of the collection. I can't say enough about this candle. If you are even curious about a fall florals candle, I really highly, highly recommend this. There is something about, there's a rose to this, but also the suede and the fall florals, it almost gives it a dried florals type of feel. I wouldn't have guessed how much I really love this candle, but I love it so much. I'm so glad I have it. This is also just a great, for this time of year, for September, oh my gosh, it's a great one for this time of year. This is a September candle if there ever was one. I am thrilled to have this one in my collection, and I can't recommend it enough. I just love it so much. Let's move on to Japanese maple. Beautiful, beautiful label on Japanese maple, and let me read my notes. So, Japanese maple, this is a much more delicate candle, and I was having a harder time actually detecting this one. The beautiful amber smell is coming off of it, and it loses that cologne. So I think that when I first smelled this one, I said that it had kind of a cologne type feeling to it, like that was the first thing that I was getting. So it loses that on the burn. So what I get on the burn is actually a nice leafy autumn scent. What I'm mostly getting are the amber leaves and the moss. The throw on this one is kind of delicate and light, and I burned this one 2 times. This is one of the ones that I wish I had more time with it, because I just feel like it's got more to give, but I will say, at least when it got burning, it lost that cologne feeling for me, and it gave me a nice, like, autumn leaves thing. I think I will burn this one again and post a in-depth review on my Instagram, but these are, yeah, this is what I could get out of it for now. All right, pumpkin spice latte. This one is really strong. I'll just throw that out there. From what I remember of this, super duper strong candle, and let's see what I had to say about this one. On the first burn, this one started throwing up to even 20 feet away, and it is strong. The first thing that I noticed was the coffee scent. So the coffee was the first thing that hit me. It was the first thing that really told me that there was a candle burning. The next thing that hit me was the creaminess of it. So there's like a body to this thing, and that mixed with the pumpkin and the cinnamon. I also noted here that it's not going to be an acidic coffee flavor. It's going to be a coffee with a heavy cream and some pumpkin and some spices thrown in there. It's actually kind of a straightforward pumpkin spice latte scent in this way. It's really nice, and it puts me straight into the fall mindset. So if you are looking for a gourmand that invokes that fall mindset, this is really actually a great one for that. The other thing is that I'm not a big fan of gourmands because they just make me hungry. They make me just feel like, well, why am I not eating food? This is different than that. It did not give me the sense of like, wow, like if I smell a cinnamon bun candle, I'm just going to want the cinnamon bun. This didn't give me that impression. This was creating the nice ambiance, the nice smell, but it wasn't invoking that kind of like, now I need to eat the food type of thing. I think this one is less sweet than it is, I guess, like full. So there's the cinnamon and there's the cream and there's the coffee, but I didn't get this sugary sweetness to it. It didn't go into sugar territory. And the coffee in this one is really nice as well. There is a nuttiness and a boldness to the coffee, but it doesn't smell like this artificial. I usually also don't do a lot of coffee scented candles because I think it can really easily go into this kind of chemical smelling territory. This smells like a real genuine good coffee with a nuttiness and boldness to it. Overall, I really enjoy the ambiance that this one gives off. Again, super strong candle as well, and this one lingered in the room for a very long time after it was lit, so beware of the big old pumpkin spice latters. Okay, now here's another one that I really wish that I had more time with because I am discovering things about it. I just lit this one again this morning trying to uncover its mysteries. Mid-Autumn Moss. So what I will say first of all about Mid-Autumn Moss is that when I lit it for the first time, this one hit me as cologne. It really struck me as a cologne scent, and honestly I was a bit disappointed. However, when it got burning, that's when it released the woods atmosphere to it. So let's go read what I said about this one. So yeah, I say it's coming off more cologne and the throw is a medium. I do get a sense of dead leaves that are on the image of the front. So I think that yes, the dead leaves are kind of a good imagery for this candle. So I get a bit of that kind of like foliage type thing, but the thing that came through for me as it continued to burn was actually the fir. There was this kind of lemon fir scent going on that was really, really kind of zingy and nice. Also, the fir doesn't ever veer into Christmas fir. Like, I don't get a Christmas sense from this at all, even though there was that element. It just brings it into the woods. There's just a woods invocation, basically. All right, so these are the notes from this morning. So when I first light it, it does come across as a cologne, as I said earlier, and then it transitions into a more woodsy smelling scent. The herbal note may be in fact what's giving it that lemony scent, and perhaps it's lemon balm. Perhaps lemon balm combined with, I mean, they just say herbal here on the notes, I believe. Yeah, it's fresh herbal fir wood. Those are the last notes on it. It could be that there is a lemony herb in there that throws in that lemon element to the fir. As it gets going, it becomes a very natural scent. It becomes woodsy and earthy. So one thing I will say is that I wish that there was more of a dirt element to this. When I smelled this one next to 6 Feet Under, I was really kind of wishing that they added a little bit more of that fresh soil, because while I get a woods aspect of this, I do not get the sense of the actual dirt itself. I'm missing that dirt. Even though it says here on here that dirt is the second fragrant listed in here, I wish there was a little bit more, but regardless, I think it's a really nice woodsy, earthy fall candle. So again, I wish I had even more time with this one, but for the burns that I got out of it, that's what I have to say about it. I think it's really, really nice. I'm glad to have this one, and if I didn't have it, I'd probably be ordering this one as well. All right, Apple Brandy. This is a great fall scent, absolutely wonderful. I will say that this one, it has a strong, they went heavy on the apples this year, I think, at Kringle Candle. There are a number of candles that have apple notes to it, and this is yet another sour apple scent with a very different take than the other ones. So let's take a look. Apple Brandy comes across as kind of a pungent sour apple. That's the first thing that hit me with this one, is I'm smelling like green Granny Smith apple, and it's actually really sharp. Like when you take a bite out of that first Granny Smith apple, that really sharpness that comes with it, that's the first thing that hit me with this. I could smell it from about 15 feet away, and it has kind of a sour apple throw that's different than Dreadful Dolly. It's gonna have a bit more of a tartan freshness, like I said. There is a little bit of an alcohol note to this, but it's not overpowering, and if you're not a fan of alcohol notes, that's actually going to be fine. What I really get out of this is mulling spices. The closer I get, the more the mulling spices come out. It kind of reminds me of a wine mulling spice, if you know what I mean, like those like spice packets. There's a bit of that in here. And the closer that I got to the candle, the more I also started to smell the wood and the fire note as well. So, I mean, I don't think there's an actual fire here, but like kind of a wood smoke, like something burning. So it almost reminded me of if you made like an apple brandy mixture in a cauldron with some mulling spices over a fire. Now, like I said, the smoky aspect of the fire isn't going to be strong with this, but there is a wood element there. So that's kind of what's going on with this candle. Because of those apple notes and the spice notes and the wood note, this I think is a very kind of quintessential fall candle. It is, it's very fall. It really, this is a great ambiance setter for sure. And surprised me a lot. I really wasn't expecting to like this one as much as I do, but yeah, absolutely beautiful ambiance setter, especially if you like apple scents, and if apple is something for you, especially in September when you're going apple picking for the first time. Just absolutely wonderful, wonderful candle. This is one of my favorites of the collection, honestly. I wasn't expecting it. And finally, we've got Smoke and Oak, which is another one. I was so excited about this one. Let's dive into the thoughts on Smoke and Oak. So the first things I said about this are beautiful, deep, full-bodied, and warm. Again, fantastic fall candle, really, really great fall candle. So the smoke note actually is stronger on cold than when it is lit. I think the smoke dissipates and goes a little bit into the background once it is finally lit, even though when I smelled it cold, the smoke was really strong. The leather note in here is really beautiful. It comes through nicely, and I would say that the bourbon and leather mixture is the primary experience of this candle when it's burning. It's interesting because they did go with a couple of alcoholic choices this year. Like there are a couple of alcohol-centered candles, and that is not normally a thing that I would have gone for. However, Kringle's making me a believer in the alcohol notes. All of the alcohol scents that they have released this year have been so lovely, really nice ambiance setters. And actually, ever since Cognac and Leather, I first tried their Cognac and Leather scent, that was what made me a believer. So they are kind of just showing their prowess, I think, in terms of the alcohol scents. So again, if you were a Cognac and Leather fan, I would say definitely give this one a try. It's giving me that Cognac and Leather kind of feel, but it's also a little bit different. It's its own distinct flavor, I will say. The leather note in this candle is actually very authentic and comforting, and it gives it a kind of natural feel. Candle is not overpowering. I burned it twice, so on the second burn, it's not going to be not nearly anything like pumpkin spice latte. You're going to notice that it's there, but it's going to be a much more kind of delicate kind of medium saturation of your room, I guess I'll say. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say about this one as well. So really beautiful, nice ambiance setter, alcohol candle. Anybody who's into that alcohol leather scent, which I am quickly becoming a fan of, I really can highly recommend picking up Smoke and Oak. Now, I think with this one, I would like to burn it in a different location in my house and see if maybe I can pick up on the smoke having traveled further than the alcohol and leather notes in this one, just to see, yeah, does that smoke hit me if I'm further out? Because when it's cold, it was really strong and I was kind of missing that. So anyway, everybody, I'm so happy that we were able to do some of these post burns, and thank you so much for tuning in again to The Haven. It's my delight to share these with you. I'm so happy to be able to do this and to review candles and spend time with you here. Once again, if you want to order any of these, Haunted Haven's the discount code, and they're on sale tomorrow. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. This is the only video I'm working on right now, so I'll try and get back to you as soon as I possibly can. All right, it was great to see you again, friends, and I'll see you again soon. Happy September. Go pick some apples. Bye.